One of my favorite films is Inception, and I don't think that's going to be a wild take. I think it's on a lot of people's top 10 lists. It's a very good film about dreams and planting ideas and stealing ideas from people's minds while they're asleep. But there's one particular part in Inception that makes me think a lot about motivation and habit setting in the gym as well. So one of the main points of Inception is that there is a heist style scheme to invade someone's dreams and plant an idea that they will destroy the billion-dollar company that their dad built and has become this kind of world power because it owns so much. I think it's energy or water, I can't remember. This company has a really dominant power in the world and owns a lot of resources basically. And so they want this man to break up his dad's company so that he no longer has that power, so that power and wealth is a bit more evenly distributed. So they talk about this idea of inception, which is where you plant an idea in someone's subconscious and you plant it in such a way that when they wake up from their dream, they recognize that idea as their own. They don't know that someone else had planted it. They think they've come up with that idea themselves and they go on and act on that idea. And so when they're talking about inception and the idea of planting an idea, there's one scene where they talk about how they've had some success with planting this idea, but the person they were planting the idea, the person whose mind they were planting the idea into, could kind of trace that idea back to the source. They would recognize that it wasn't their own idea and they would rebel against it, they would reject it. The example that's given in the film is one of the characters says, don't think about elephants, and the other character says, well, now I'm thinking about elephants. And the first character says, well, yeah, you're thinking about elephants, but you know it wasn't your idea, you know I gave it to you. And believe it or not, that made me really think about coaching and motivation and accountability, because I think often what people say they want from a trainer is they want someone to plant this idea in them that they are going to do all these healthy things, change all their habits, train, 4 times a week, get super ripped or, super muscular, whatever it is they want. And they often think that the trainer is going to just give them that, just going to, plant that motivation within them, and that's going to make them suddenly want to train. Likewise, when people say they want to coach for accountability, they often refer to coaches as being someone that can just, kind of reprimand them if they do things wrong, can follow them around and knock snacks out of their hand. That's the other kind of common joke you'll see about coaches and accountability is, I don't need a personal trainer, I just need someone to follow me around and knock food out of my hand. You see these kind of things, and obviously they're jokes. But the idea is that people want to outsource the decision making, they want to outsource the motivational aspect to another person. And this is where we come back to Inception, because I think that idea that you will always trace back an idea to the original source, I think that's a lot of the time that's true when it comes to personal training. The point is that if you had that person, if you really had someone in your life who could tell you, you must train now, don't eat that snack, make sure you wake up an hour earlier. If you had someone who was constantly sending you these goals and sending you these instructions and, stopping you from eating things you want to eat and all those kind of ideas. If you had that person involved in your life and you didn't at least have some of the decision making and some of the motivation yourself, then you would most likely reject that person. It's why buying personal training for someone as a gift is such a terrible idea, because someone needs to make the choice to get involved with a personal trainer or something like that. So yeah, if you had this kind of enforcer in your daily life telling you what decisions to make, what to eat, when to train, chances are you would find a way to avoid them, you would stop replying to their texts, you would maybe start going to a different gym or stop going to the gym entirely. We see it all the time. The more that someone tries to force their ideas and their actions upon you without you taking them on board yourself, the more that you will tend to fail with those goals, or at least the more that kind of motivational style will fail. And I think coaches that model themselves as being, enforcers, drill instructors, boot camp people, I think that's why they only work for a very specific type of people. So many of my clients come in and tell me, I don't want someone who's going to make me do this, normally make me run. I don't want someone who's going to make me do this thing. I don't want someone that's going to ban all my favorite foods. So many clients come in very guarded against these very forceful types of coaches. And I bring this up not just to talk about Inception and not just to criticize this style of motivational organization or whatever you want to call it. I'm saying this because hopefully it can bring across a more positive message as well, which is that if you stop looking for an external source that's going to make you more motivated, that's going to make you make all these decisions that you don't really identify with and you don't really align with, if you stop looking for someone else to do that and start to look at your own values and your own choices, then that might give you the agency and the kind of power to start making some of those changes yourself. And quite importantly, it might also help you choose not to make certain choices, because we sometimes think we have to do things just because someone else tells us to. Like, everyone thinks, oh, I'm going to make them run because they think that's what personal trainers do. When in fact, running is not essential to people's goals. It's not something that you need to do to reach your goals, but we think we have to do it because we think that's what we're going to get told to do. So if you can actually look inside and say, what are my values? What do I want to achieve? What am I prepared to do to get there? And what am I not prepared to give up? Then actually you start to come up with that much more tailored idea of what you want from personal training and from fitness in general. And because it's yours and because it's assigned to you and it comes from your values and your beliefs, you're much more likely to stick with it. So in summary, stop trying to mold yourself to this idea of fitness that you think someone else is going to give you and force upon you. Make your own relationship with fitness and decide what that's going to be. And if that starts off with a very small commitment, that's fine. It's your commitment, it's your idea of what your fitness should look like. So make that your own and then go out there and try and get it. So thank you for watching. I like talking about motivation and goal setting. I also like talking about strength training and the gym stuff in general. I like having fun with, memes and, some videos where I do workouts related to computer games and things like that. I do lots of different things on this channel. So please, if this is your first time watching, please like, subscribe, comment, send me any questions you've got, and share this video with your friends as well. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you again next time.